Okay, hey there YouTube. I'm Yukitsu, this is the Yukitsu Times. Welcome to my channel, and welcome to a little bit of, Ixion. So, this is a weird chapter of the game. This is a weird section of a weird chapter of the game, because, we can't really do much. So we're just going to be sort of going along nice and cozy while we, look for probe-based things. Now, I can't finish doing the Destroy Command Center here, but we can start it. So we're going to go ahead and start this off here. Now, completing this fully lets us reveal a bunch of other locations and advances this storm cloud of gunk at us, which is unpleasant and I don't like it. But it is something that we're going to have to do eventually, and we just want to make sure that we're in a position where we can sort of get the storm cloud of gunk to go past us completely without ever having to be in it. Because being in the storm cloud of gunk is unpleasant, and I don't want to have to do any of that. So, other things that we have to do, we eventually have to clear out all of these stupid things. That's going to be later. We're probably going to have a quest later on to turn on all of our cryonic centers, of which we've got one. You can actually avoid that quest by deleting them all and then just deal with them when you want to later on. One of the things that we can also do is work on getting another sector open and making that into a food production sector, because we want to have two of those. In my opinion, there are some people who have much more efficient food production centers and have far less people in them. I prefer having a lot more people in my food production sectors while also having a lot more waste being generated by it, because I've got that. And then sort of combining those elements together gives me more, in my opinion. So we're gonna just go ahead and fast forward this a little bit while these things get out to here. And we've got the Demotic Quarter researched, which is a new housing type. Okay, unfortunate. What do you want? Interrupting me here. Yeah, turn on every cryonic sector in Sector 1 for 30 cycles. Sure, fine, we'll do that. This is why we only have one right now. You can also just delete it and have 0, and that's fine. We got a little bit of room over here. We want to make sure all of our sectors have over 400 people. That's sort of the minimum. We can go ahead and build one of our demotic quarters over here. I don't actually know what that word means, honestly, if I'm totally frank and candid with you guys. But here we go. We are going to want to replace all of these dudes with demotic quarters, but that can happen later. Alright, so let's grab magnetic separators next. I would like to get more of the tech lab upgrades pretty soon here. Now, one of the things that we can sort of do is slow down our science gain, because there is a tech down here that you can get from researching some planetary stuff. That'll get us access to some unique things that we're going to want to have. We're going to prioritize these things. We want to make sure that we're not getting anything that's actually in the stupid gas stuff. But we do want to be able to get these things first, and then the stuff that's next to us later, because stuff that's next to us we can get at any time. I hate clicking these, and there's probably a hotkey for it, but I don't know what it is. So this is a sector where we can get a decent number of chips. The iron is not going to be, great, but that's fine. Summary of Intelligence on the Edamanaki's Control Center. Projectile damage, there's been a big fight here, blah, blah, blah. Must retrieve the Remus data. The Tycoon should be kept in close proximity to the command center. This will allow the Mendeleev teams to use the station's power via the retractable telescope pole and access the center's terminals. So we can basically sit here and we can recover more stuff here. Since we're going to be here and we have no real way to get anywhere else until we start doing some scans, then, we can just sort of go ahead and do this. Now, there are actually some places that we have to manual scan, but this is kind of fine for now. I hate finding these things. Alright. I do kind of want to, research the better probes. Alright, what do you want? Change Sector 2's work policy within 15 cycles. Hate when they ask me for this stuff. Yeah, there's lots of dead bodies in the debris field. You can ignore that if you've been playing this the way I have been. We have to set this to this, and then I have to check our work conditions, which look like they're fine. We have got plenty of surplus, so we've got an extra point of happiness even above that. Fantastic. So we'll be okay. One thing that I do want to do that's a little bit awkward is start replacing these guys with demotic quarters as well, but we'll do that later. One of the things that we just have to do eventually is get all of our houses replaced with demotic quarters, which does cost a chip, and is technically a little bit less population efficient in terms of alloys. You actually spend more alloys to build a demotic quarter than you do for an optimized one in terms of how much housing you get per alloy. It does, however, save you space. It does also provide you with more happiness, so it is worth getting the demotic quarter. It's very, very expensive. There could be an argument, actually, that people are making that, like, it's not worth getting. I have no idea. So, yeah, as you can see, very long time before we get all this stuff scooped up here. Still have 0 of the carbon, so we're definitely going to want to get a little bit of that at least. Can do it so that we also get the ice. But we do want to prioritize the iron and the silicone that's down there, because we want to get that first so that we can scoop it all up and then we can go and advance things a little bit here. Alright. So, we're going to just go ahead and wait until we've got access to a little bit more stuff on the map here. And we'll get to the next sort of section of what this game is going to be about, what this chapter is going to be about, which is mostly figuring out what happened to Edmanaki and how to kill what killed it. Which is not going to be super easy, because I actually have not figured out how to do that. So that'll be fun. But in any event, we're just going to fast forward a little bit. We'll go to the next stage of the Destroy Command Center while we're still slowly mining stuff. And that'll sort of be that. Looks like apparently we're prioritizing this stuff. And you know what? That's actually fine. But in any event, I'll be right back in just a little bit. Okay, so we're at the next section of the Destroyed Command Center. We started getting a little bit of stuff here. The Remus coordinates aren't here. Yeah, so these have been taken away. Shortened by cutting lasers and taken. There is small hope a single damage calculated terminal is found. Managed to access it. We were able to identify and record self-similar signature of their attackers as it withdrew. They hope to later mount some sort of pursuit to recover the stolen coordinates of Remus. We are now in possession of that signature. It belongs to the Piranesi ship of the Black Market Society. So basically there's a pirate ship that destroyed the Edmanaki, which, you know, all things considered, actually seems unlikely given how gigantic the Edmanaki is, but I think people overestimate how capable pirates are capable of being in these sort of situations here. Alright, so we can go ahead and investigate further into the Piranesi attack, that's fine. So basically, big pirate ship blew up the thing that blew up our thing, so we're just eternally in the sort of pursuit of bigger fish, I guess. Alright, so do have more of these. We're going to continue launching them. This one we won't have to worry about as much because it'll be well behind our stuff there. We are losing pretty quickly our limited selection of polymers, and we don't have a ton in stockpile, but we will be getting some more pretty quickly here. As you can see, we've already started producing them. So that is something that we can worry about. I can turn this into scrap now. But yeah, slowly replacing all these things is going to be a worthwhile but very frustrating process. I'm just set each of these to like 1 here. Over here is going to be a little bit worse because I actually have to turn this on, but we also have to do this.
A probe has completed its scan.
And then we'll chuck this in here. It also takes a long time to build these, but their capacity is like over 112 at full upgrades, I believe. It's quite high regardless. Unfortunately, we've been shuffling stuff over to this side to refill after we built the thing we built. Still, though, our iron production is pretty efficient right now, so we're able to sort of get quite a lot done as far as that goes. In any event, though, other things we need to build, we do want to build another transport ship, just to make that process a little bit faster. And I do need to build 2 more, and actually 3 more is how many we need of the science ships, so Sector 2 is going to have a housing problem for just a little while here, but it's not enough people to impact the stability just yet. So we're just going to sort of ignore that. Especially if we have this going on. From 2 to 1. Okay. So, let's wait till that shows up. Relocate 100 crew members from Sector 2 to Sector 1. How many of these can be workers? And can we turn this back yet? So what we want to kind of do is wait until this is ready to be switched, switch our labor policy back to the one that we had before, move 100 workers over here, and then move 100 workers over here. It doesn't really matter that much, honestly. Either way, though, we're just about at this next stage here, so we'll go ahead and reveal that before we continue plugging along here. But, yeah. Things are just going to be a little bit slow going for a little bit longer here. These buildings also take a very long time to build. It's kind of painful, in all honesty. All right.
A science ship team has completed a task.
As the Edmonaki paused in the Crook system, was surprised and attacked by Piranesi. Reports indicate colossal casualties. The crew was able to find a flaw in the Piranesi defense system and managed to mount a boarding assault. Piranesi responded by firing its main weapons before fleeing the system. The last survivor of the attack, who could not enter the cryanopods, either died from the cold or slowly asphyxiated in the days that followed. Okay. Determine the Edmonaki's previous mission objectives. Which is probably wreck our shit, but, you know, it's fine. Alright, so got that Demotic Quarter done. This one's still being built. Do need to have, like, iron shuffled in there, which is sort of the problem. It is being moved over there, so it's just taking a while in that sense, but it is taking a while. Check the total capacity of these guys. It can house 91 right now, and we'll be able to upgrade that later. Literally empty right now, but we can increase the number of people living in this type of quarter pretty soon by just shuffling 100 people over there. I'm glad you're given quite a while before you have to relocate the people. Like, that extra amount of time is actually pretty good. This is using up, like, a crap ton of our alloys, but technically speaking, we should be able to destroy some of our buildings and not replace them yet. Although, eventually we'll want all of them to be, like, full, so... Like, we probably have the ability, once we build, I think, like, 2 of these to... Yeah, 2 of these are about equivalent to 4 of these, almost, so... Could dramatically reduce the number of houses that we need to have built. Keeping a bit of an eye on our production there of electricity. The reason our garbage is getting, like, overflowed in a bunch of sectors is because we've got more being produced than we can actually consume. I'm going to actually turn this back on, even though I kind of don't want to.
You can implement a new policy.
I'm going to set these guys back to the intense working hours. And that's going to get us down to neutral, because there's a corpse outside again, but that's fine. And we are going to go ahead and shuffle over. Well, we'll double check this. We should have the ability to shuffle 100 people over from Sector 2 over to Sector 1, and we do. So, set this to 100 crew, only workers from Sector 2 to Sector 1. And we're going to switch this thing over so that everybody's going over to Sector 2. Which is going to change the ratio, but that's fine. By powering the command center, the Mendelev's team was able to extract and analyze core mission data. I'm not sure I like Mendeleev as the name there. The Edmonaki was a UN ship initially launched to find other exoplanets. Early data logs from their voyage indicate a glaring lack of preparation to accomplish such attack. Oh yeah, like we're people to point the finger about friggin' lack of preparation. In the absence of a habitable exoplanet, they seem to have concentrated on the search for what the UN has designated as enemies of humanity, Dolos and the Ashtonites. By boarding the Protagoras, the Edmonaki was able to locate Remus. Great. Fantastic. So we're not going to leave. We're just going to sit here. We're just going to collect all that science, and we're just going to sit here for a while until we collect all those resources. And this is the thing that I was talking about earlier that we have to sort of do that's a little bit awkward. So we've got just enough workers here to keep working. We've got a lot of people being shuffled out of pods. That's all fantastic. We should be able to get a lot of this produced pretty quickly. I'm going to switch our control of this stuff over to... we already have it being sent to Sector 1. That's good. I guess it has to fill to a certain point in this sector first, but what we can actually do is just build another cargo ship over here, which is something that actually is pretty good to do here. In any event, though, as you can see, things are getting... things are going, basically. We're going to switch our iron policy for Sector 2 over here. We want them to have 80 so that, like, we can keep rebuilding these houses, essentially. We can reduce the iron demand over here down to, like, 170, which is just an arbitrary number. It can be whatever, really, but that's a temporary thing. And then we can just go ahead and turn this guy off. Dismantle this guy as well. Dismantle this guy as well. And just keep building these stupid new houses. It's going to be awkward, it's going to be awful, and I'm going to hate it, but... Ooh, I'm going to have to transfer some iron out of this sector. I think that's going to automatically happen, though. Maybe not. Yeah, we're going to have to do something to get our iron shuffled around a little bit. I think this place will automatically start working in our favor, though. In any event, though, yeah, we're just going to be here for a while, basically doing the stuff that we're doing. Not really anything spectacular about what's going on for the next little bit here. Magnetic separators for the garbage disposal, that's all good. We're going to be building algae farms, not the crop farms in this case. I think there's reasons to get both, honestly, but... or either rather than both, not necessarily both. We could try to get to 800 population per sector, which is 800 population gets you +2 stability, which I think is actually really good. But what I'm going to work for next year is smart homes, which makes things so I can get more capacity out of our housing. The other thing actually that I have to get is the mess hall upgrades, though, and that does require crop farm upgrades. Let's get that next, actually. Stellar cuisine. Actually, it's hard. There's, like, everything I need. Like, I want to get to computing optimization. I want to get the stuff that's in here. I'm going to get this. You want all the techs. All the time. It's awful. It's terrible. So, in any event, though, we're just going to be chilling here for quite a while. There's stuff that needs to be done, but we can't really do it for a while, basically. Getting rid of that building is going to give us this overflow, where this is going to fill back in that way. We're going to go over here with our alloys, and we're going to make it so that this guy's not giving any out for a while. So this should drain to refill this sector. And then we should be able to get this transfer out, and then this building in. Okay. Yeah, so this should be able to deplete mostly. Maybe... yeah, we'll be okay. Getting resources in this game shuffled around is always, like, a little bit awkward. Alright, so anyway, we're doing that. We'll be back in a little bit here. Okay, we're back. It has been a while. So we finally mined out all these resources. Since they're so far away, it does take a while. We've also mined out a lot of other resources, but we leave the ruins. That gives us access to a whole bunch of these other zones that we can now sort of look into.
We have found the Piranesi signature stored in the Etamanenki's destroyed command center. It is a ship unlike any other in our records. A formidable opponent, now in possession of the Remus coordinates. The eventual failure of the Typhoon's hull is inevitable. We have no other choice but to confront the Piranesi. Before we leave the system, we must find a way to develop an effective countermeasure strategy.
Okay, so we'll close that transmission. I'm going to pause this. I just wanted a whole bunch of resources to get shoved into there so that they get out of the way, but now I do need a little bit in here. Basically, we've been sort of like building up our resource caches. We're going to replace our food production systems. It's going to take a little while. We do need some more chips that are coming in, but we're okay currently. Going to get a little bit more science. One of the things that we want to do actually pretty soon is to stop researching stuff. We have finished a tech, it looks like, or no, we haven't. It's 52% away, whatever, it doesn't matter. But we want to stop doing techs pretty soon so that we can start getting access to a big pool, because we're going to be working on getting that sort of more efficient tech sort of stuff there. There are 2 points. I can never remember which ones they are, so I always just sort of wait until afterwards to get them. So we will have another thing to send Faraday over to in a little bit. We can also bin temporarily one of our mining ships and get another science ship there. Now, we can go into each of these zones here, and we can sort of just do the quest without actually completing them. So that's something that we're capable of doing. We can also sort of accumulate the science here. So I can't remember exactly what I need to do for each of these, but I'm pretty sure the industrial zone wreckage, I can explore the industrial zone. Yeah. So all you have to do is, when it says leave, instead of hitting leave, you hit this little X at the top. So that lets you still explore these areas. God, I cannot remember. The thing is, I think we can do all of them here. I think this one's actually fairly straightforward. Collapse food production in area here. We can actually just do... I believe it's these 3. One of them is an area that results in everybody dying. A whole bunch of people dying. I think that's this one. There's one where there's like this weird guy there that kills everybody. We're going to try and ignore that. Here we can do everything, but when we do the last one, it'll sort of give us a weird sort of questy thing. We got ourselves a new probe. Let's go ahead and get that going. We'll need another probe in a little bit here, but we're still getting a lot of resources, so we can still stay here for quite a while. Our food is going to be a problem for a little bit if we don't get our food production up, which we will be, but right now this is actually a lot of food production, and we've got plenty of trash running around, so we're okay. Hull integrity as well, like, we're just doing fine all around, honestly. We actually have so many resources, like, piled up that's actually not really coming in at the right speed. So the reason I got the industrial enzymes, even though we're not building crop farms, is it lets us get access to these techs for the mess hall, including Space Chef. Right now, Stellar Cuisine is giving us 50% more crew per meal, whereas Space Chef gets us 100% more, so we basically can feed 20 people per food, or... I can't remember. One food feeds 24 right now. That would mean that we would feed whatever else. I can't remember what the base value is. What's a third of that? So that's 16, so it would be 32 crew members with one food. So that would be very, very, very powerful in terms of reducing our food consumptions and the costs for that. You can actually see that we're like at cap for food here. We're like not there, but... I think that's because I've lowered our food consumption in Sector 1, or the food storage, rather. Let's do that. But also, we're starting to accumulate water. This is the fusion plant. It's kind of stupid how these work, and I wish they would change it. But water is only like available in each sector. So as you can see, no water in this little bar here for Sector 6 and Sector 1. You really should be allowed to transfer water over from one sector to another. It's very silly that you can't. Alright, so we got ourselves another point of interest here. We have one more we have to get, and we have to build one more science ship. I think our mining ships are actually, like, done, so I think we can actually do that safely. I can never remember where these stupid things are. You just want to do it this way so that you don't end up spending probes on, like, these... on the free ones, on the ones that you can get without having to pay for them.
Science shift team has completed a task.
Okay, so the industrial zone itself is devastated, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. What's weird is that they talk about a lot of, like, molten metal that was in the depressurization, and like this entire thing is made out of metal. So like, why are we not allowed to take this metal here? Like, you know, I don't know. So we'll go ahead and investigate the storage area. Investigating the yellow particles, despite what that sounds like, is actually perfectly safe. So yeah, we'll still do this first, though. You can just do it in order. The food district is actually one of the most important ones in the area, just because of what it also provides you. There's an additional sort of like neat little bonus that you can get for exploring around here that you don't get from the other ones. That is a permanent +1 stability that you just get that lasts forever, and it's super, super powerful. Basically, it's like you go through there's like a dog, and you're just like, okay, we'll bring back the dog. And apparently one pet shared between thousands of people is perfectly fine, and that is going to be one ridiculously obese dog, as everyone is just like, oh, it's a dog, I'll just give it like one little treat. And then they give it one little treat, and then everybody has done that, and the dog explodes because it has been fed 1,852 treats and just dies. So, you know, that'll be bad for morale when that happens, but until then, it's pretty good. Right, so, yeah, I keep forgetting to sort of fully explain this. The depressurized R&D district, I believe, is the one that has this. We've got access to a thing that'll give us 10% reduction in tech cost, so that's what we're sort of after here. Alright, so we can get a new sort of upgrade for Crop Farm. We're not actually going to get that because we don't need it, but we also get 15 science, 261 food, 235 pod people. We can now investigate the animal pens, which is where we find a dog. The Adamaneki seems capable of achieving 2 different types of propulsion. The intra-system mode of propulsion has many similarities to Dolus's EKP. Cross-referencing mission data reveals the number of matches to the encounter near Saturn. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. 2 reactors were damaged at the same time as the larger superstructure analysis has revealed traces of glue-on particles. So they glued on the particles, and that's how the ship exploded, I guess. I'm sort of parsing through this really, really quickly. Before someone tries to comment, I do know... Well, actually, no, I don't know what a gluon is, but I know roughly what a gluon is, and that has nothing to do with what I just said there. Alright, let's get that. Strictly speaking, I should probably stop getting these, because, like, I still can't through process, like, all of this crap that I'm getting. But whatever, it's fine. Okay.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Going to get even more science from over here. So this place, God. You perform the topographical analysis. This is the Oppenheimer crew. We're currently in orbit of P-38. The planet possesses a highly corrosive atmosphere. There will be a little room for improvisation once we touch down. We must establish a search protocol now. Yeah, so I believe it's this one. Is the one that provides us with the best result. Could be wrong. Would be really awful if I was. Either way, though, I think we might have one more planet that we can send a thing to, so we'll find out in a little bit here. Do have to produce it, of course, but... we are a little bit behind on that on account of us building a science ship. Yeah, so there's Kruk P-42. I think I have to turn this stupid thing back on pretty soon, which is awful, because I hate having this thing working. Ugh. Okay. More pod people. Storage area seems to have been battleground for a large violent clash. Workers attempt to repel an invader. Using small firearms, improvised weaponry, apart from the cutting laser marks across bodies and containers, there's no evidence that identifies the invader. It was the Paranisi. The large majority of the storage area seems to have been emptied, but after some searching, the Xanadu team located a large number of intact cryopods and resource containers. Everything has been prepared for extraction. Hey, look, 2 of these electronics. I really goddamn need that. Okay, so look for the source of the yellow particles. Usually what we find in these places is fairly straightforward, so I'm sort of going through it pretty quickly. Alright, collapsed food production. 25 science, 204 of this. The production area has been gutted for several hundred meters. Huge amount of floating carcasses made it difficult for the team to differentiate between what is animal and what is not. Working cryopods, 204 of them in fact, and they found a cryopod containing a dog. The owner seems to have decided the animal's life was more important than their own. Their corpse hangs onto the pod. Could have actually been some other person who was not the owner of the dog thinking, I need to get in there to eat that dog, but you never know. So, The Naomi Protocol has provided a new home for the dog, and obviously we're going to do that. Faraday crew will bring the dog aboard the Tycoon. I'm not sure what this other stuff here is, but it might mean something. Either way, we're going to do Naomi Protocol, bring the dog on board, obviously. We'll then have a prompt later on where it's just like, do you want to eat the dog? And it's like, no thanks. Rather not, please. Yeah, so we're going to need to, like, up our chip production somehow, and it's just really not that possible for us to up the chip production. Still, though. Gotta train a bunch more colonists, which sucks. Yadamanenki's engines were not supported by a PA or even basic AI. Instead, crew members were constantly monitoring, adjusting, and repairing the engines and thrusters. Their living conditions were extremely precarious, and it would seem that many of them were either prisoners or rejects from the population on board the Yadamanenki. I don't know why you would have your critical systems being monitored by prisoners, but whatever. Traces of writing were found within some dormitory cells referring to genetic conatus and the Ashengites. There were records of several serious breakdowns before the final explosion. Crew members would work waist deep in coolant, some dying while performing tasks with the toxic substance. Those who refused were executed by their supervisors. This is probably why the thing's dead, honestly, but whatever. Alright, so investigate the engine supervision area. I believe this is fine. That should get me information about the Piranesi as well. This is the Oppenheimer crew. The signal is transmitted from an abandoned subterranean complex. We have breached it. By breaching it, we have unfortunately allowed the corrosive atmosphere of the P-38 inside. We've estimated the complex was built within the last 20 years. We do not recognize the iconography of its exterior. Technology inside does seem human-made, and there are signs that it was once inhabited. There is still a little time before P-38's corrosive atmosphere eats through the Oppenheimer's hull and landing gear. We do not think we will be able to explore the entire site, but we have identified several places of interest. So, you can do 2 of these, and the ones that you're supposed to do are investigate the tank room and investigate the field operation area in that order, and I'm not entirely sure why. But that's what you're supposed to do, and for the life of me, I cannot entirely figure out why that's the case, but that gives you the most science. You get a lot of science no matter what you pick there, but it kind of is weird the way that's sort of structured. We have got another probe, so let's go ahead and make sure that we don't have another one of those points of interest here. I don't think we do. Some more silicone that we could get, but I don't really care about that right now. I mean, we could just get some silicone for the hell of it. Could also get some ice. I think what we'll do is just get the silicone. Getting, like, a lot of chips in this game is one of those most ridiculous sort of things to try and do, even though you can technically get unlimited chips from your garbage recyclers. It's not an easy process, it is a very lengthy process, and it is kind of stupid having to wait for those stupid things. In any event, we're going to be here for a while still, doing all these little side questy things, especially because we still have to wait for the science ship to finish building, which I think it might have actually just finished. We'll go ahead and send Gear, I think is the new one, to Kruk P-42, which is a colonization world, which is why we're starting to get more colonists, which is awful. I hate them. I hate every single one of the people who call themselves a colonist in this game. They're all assholes, every single one of them. Anyway, we're going to be here for a while, training those guys up, getting all these resources scraped off the sidewalk, and yeah, I'll be back once we are ready for the next stage of our nonsense. Okay, we're back. So we've been here so long that we've had, like, whatever the hell happened where we have a bunch of penalties for being here too long. Either way, we're going to go and move over to this planet. The internals of our ship are kind of different now, but not dramatically so. Not as dramatically as you might think they would be. This sector has got a lot more storage because we have pulled in a lot more stuff. We're just about to actually pull in all of our ships that are pulling in supply, but probably not yet. I do still want to get all of these guys here, but it really doesn't matter. We'll be able to get them later. It just takes a really, really bloody long time to get all these resources once we're sort of transferred over. And as a result, I kind of prefer doing as much as possible while we're still here. But I'm getting impatient. We're just going to do that later while we're getting sort of more stuff going. I do want to get, like, the science turned into actual research once we get that other thing going as well, so there's all that. We're also relying on these algae farms, which we have turned off because we have been actually literally getting more food than we can deal with right now. We actually have a building that's just sitting at 100 food for no reason whatsoever, so we're doing fine. Once we're at Kruk P38, we can go ahead and do some stuff. Alright, so let's turn this back on. Let's get this turned on, probably. We're producing a whole bunch of extra power cells and stuff like that, but I don't really want to get it done too fast. One of the problems that we got right now is also garbage collection. We've got way too much garbage, but we have been producing more stuff out of it faster, so hopefully we'll be able to get ourselves to the point where that's going okay. One of the reasons why I like having lots of mushroom farms is that they contribute both to this being a food sector, which we want it to be, and also it to being a recycling center, which increases our food production by 15%. This is why my food production centers are going to be a little bit different than a lot of other people's, because I don't have a dedicated recycling center, I just have a food recycling sector, and I like having two of them, because it lets me produce a ton of resources for free, and it also gives me all that food production that I need to fill in everything. It's just that my food production sectors are a little bit less efficient, have way more population, and have all the recycling as well, so very different from some other designs that are more unifocused, basically. I could potentially be destroying some of these like storage areas down here, especially like for the purpose of getting better access to storage areas later, where I can turn these into like level 4 storage areas. Like this area here could be turned into a level 4 iron storage. Sector 2 over here has got too much population somehow. What I could do is actually just turn this guy off, because we've got no people in storage right now. And we got plenty of space in those places for the remaining cryopods, I believe. Not quite, but it's good enough. Alright. So, what we have to do at this point in time is turn off all of our ships here. Basically just going to go like this. Going to go like this. That one's in the port right now, so I can't really do that. Gotta wait for some of them. We can get the mining ship down there as well. So once we've got all of these guys unassigned, we still have them. We don't have them unassembled or anything like that. We can go ahead and have our ship ready for other things going on here. So these guys have to come in. It's going to take a little while. Wait till they're all returned to us. Now, we have to do the thing at Kruk P42 first, because there's actually two things we're going to have done. So, our colonists are going to be stuck there for quite a while, but that's fine. So we hit leave the planet, and this thing, like, advances yet again. We have another quest immediately where we have to say repatriate the colonists, which is going to take 2 days. And I want to make sure that we're sort of got everything turned on correctly while we're doing this. This looks fine. Just because we're just sitting here waiting, I don't want to have too much stuff going on. This all looks fine. This all looks fine. I might turn this off soon. I think we still actually are a little... Yeah, we still got garbage. Okay. As long as you have garbage overflow, you keep that going. Got a nice whopping 884 science that we're just chilling with and doing absolutely nothing useful with, which is great. By which I mean that's actually really technically bad, but at the same time, I don't need it for anything else. So, you know. At this point, we're almost self-sufficient, actually, so... things are going pretty well. We've got 2,122 people opened up from their pods. Okay, so we end data listening protocol. That should complete that quest there. So this is going to just scoot all the way the hell over here. Leave the ruined propulsion system. Leave the wreckage. Leave the collapsed food district. And leave P38. And we hit the button here. This thing just swoops right past us. Alright. So at this point in time, all we have left as far as our science ships goes is the one that's over in Kruk P38, which I think is Oppenheimer. We got the ability to also fire off our probe to look for this guy. It's around here somewhere. Which makes a good middle jumping off point for what we're going to be doing, which is moving away from this cloud here. God, I cannot find this stupid spot. But yeah, our goal here at this point is to jump to down around here so we can get access to some new tech. There we go. This makes an okay sort of middle point there. there's two ways to do this in my opinion, and one is like you sort of wait until you've sort of gotten your science ships past there. Like we wait for a science ship to be able to go here. The other thing we could theoretically do is get more science ships, but we'll unlock these two with just one more point of interest. And at that point, we're pretty much good to go. No matter what's happening, though, all our sectors are going to be happy just because we got the bonus from having a dog, we got the demotic quarters. All that stuff is going to make it so that our people are a lot happier. And as a result, we can weather out the fact that we got a whole bunch of penalties for being here way too long and do really well in spite of that. So I do also have to check our battery life. We're going to have enough batteries to make it to the next sector, which is not necessarily that easy, but which we should be fine with. We have tons of iron sort of stored up, so even though we're not going to be collecting for a while, we're going to be okay right now. We're going to be fine. So, yeah, that's just going to be something that takes us a little while here. We can take a look at our travel times. This one's actually pretty brutal. Should be any second now. This is why I want to upgrade my probes, but everything else is always more important than doing it. Okay, so it's 4.3 cycles to there, it's 5.3 cycles to there, so it is marginally faster. I actually don't know if I might just try and get the 5.3. Either way, let's go send Oppenheimer over to Kruk P37. I'm probably going to gear up to go to the destroyed docking bay, honestly. At this point in time, we do want to make sure that we've got a bunch of these resource nodes banned. But it kind of doesn't matter that much because we don't want our guys flying around anyway, so we're just not going to release them. So what we're going to do is probably find the energy to fly over there. The way you do this, your batteries actually last longer if you have systems turned off. So we can actually just go ahead and turn off. Actually, no, let's not do that. I think we can get away with this, actually. I'm going to double check something. Yeah, just wanted to make sure that our ships didn't move. Okay, good. Okay, so that brings us up to 3.6. I can technically turn off this guy. I can also turn off this guy. But getting to 5 is probably going to be hard without building more batteries. So we'll probably have to build more batteries. That's fine, though. Probably another 2 per sector ought to be enough. We've got enough to do that, I think, so we'll just do it. Going to be a little bit harder in our food production sector, but they're also kind of the least behind on batteries, so I might be able to get away with just 1. Can also turn off quite a lot of the stuff from here. Like, this thing's not even working right now, so 3.4. 3.5. 4. That should be enough with 1 more battery. I think that brings us up to 5. Actually, there's only 3 batteries in here. But anyway, that sorry, that is going to be what we're up to for a little bit here. Just getting ourselves ready for this jump. Meanwhile, once we get Kruk P38 research, we'll have access to a bunch more science ships. Once we get Destroyed Docking Bay also done, we'll also have access to the scientists that are at Kruk P42. There should be 1 more hanging around somewhere. Oh, the one at Reactor Wreckage. This guy's actually available. Let's send you up this way. Alright, so that ought to do. But, yeah. I just kind of want to beeline it over to that sector that's going to get us the free tech, or the reduced cost tech, basically. We can safely turn off a lot of the stuff in this sector as well, since we're going to be out of polymers pretty soon, or rather the carbons. So that'll be pretty good, but in any event, that is going to be the next little while of this adventure. So we'll go deal with all that, and we'll be back after we've got all that. Alright, so we're back. So we've done very little. We have moved to the deep pressurized R&D district after a what could be described generously as a long-ass time. We've maxed out our science. It's actually researching, and we have not got the ability to see how much science we have because it is so high. We're researching the thing that makes it so that all science is 10% cheaper, which is going to make it so that our arbitrary amounts of science are even more arbitrary. It's going to be fantastic. We'll then learn how to research faster, because that sounds important at this point in time. But we are also getting a bunch of science really, really quickly, so like that's why we can't see what's going on. Either way, the important thing is this. So we've got like this stupid ruin here of the Adamanaki that has got a bunch of stuff in here, and there's a missile. There's just a missile in here. So we're gonna end this blah blah blah. We're just gonna go ahead and defuse that missile, and this is the important one to do. This gives us less science than doing the controlled detonation, but it gives us the ability to do a specific research project that will tell us how their missiles work, which is apparently important, I guess. Got some more stuff going on over here. We can learn a little bit about their stuff from their runes here. It's just their medical department. Their subject ZY6073, which they don't really tell you a lot about this, but he murders a bunch of people, so we're not going to bring him with us. I'm just going to hit leave. Yeah, so that has left. We never even touched it because we cheesed the ever-loving hell out of it. We can finally unavoid that. It's going to take us a while to actually get all the resources that are in this sector, but that's fine. There's a very high chance that I actually build even more docks and even more ships. But go ahead and launch that there. Oppenheimer was over here. So we're just doing yet another one of these things. Just found some circles. You cannot do more than one of these things, so we're going to leave the planet now. Then we're going to research an arbitrary amount of science yet again. So this is one of those situations where, yeah, like, we're going to research the tech speed upgrade. So, one of the things that we're going to want to get pretty soon is the increased speed for research, and also increased housing, so we can start opening more pods. We also want to research the thing that makes food is more efficient. We've got a lot of stuff that we want to research, so it's been a while. We've been here for a long ass time. I think technically we empty this thing, we dismantle it, and then we produce another docking bay here, if I can. Not quite enough room. I'd have to get rid of a bunch of stuff that's going to be a little bit awkward to get rid of, unfortunately. So we got access to that. We're going to go ahead and research more science. So as you can see, all our science numbers are now wonky-ass numbers that are awful, but that's fine. Music has turned deep and ominous yet again.
A probe has completed its scan.
Fantastic.
A science ship team has completed a task.
I think that's over here, and another one. So new event, I Missile You. This is the new quest thing that we've got access to. Medical district guy is done. We can send him to the habitation sector. That's still being filled with resources. We want to get to the point where we can get rid of one of our science ships, and I think we're reaching there. I think Mendeleev over here we can bin, which is funny because that's like our original one. Yeah, so now we know how to analyze their missile. This will help us in our next sector. So that'll be quite good for us. It lets us build anti-missile countermeasures, basically, which we're going to have a lot of to not die.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Okay, for the Hab sector, I think we can actually just do everything here. If I recall correctly, I probably don't, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll be okay. Mendeleev. It's over here. We're going to go ahead and swap you for Triceps. We want to have both of our mining ships running here. Where was that? Oppenheimer? All the way over there. We could do here to speed the process up is actually get more mining ships, but I kind of don't think we need them that badly. They're a lot faster than our other stuff. What we do need, however, is more carbon. That is kind of the gateway sort of thing that we're lacking here. Oh, we got another quest. What's now? I think we've already got this hooked up, so, you know, use the PA to assist with our research. I'm pretty sure we already researched that, so I think that's a little bit redundant asking me that question at this point in time. It's like, maybe we shouldn't use this rogue AI to, like, help fund our research. Oh, what are you saying? I've already installed it, you know. Okay, so we got rid of one of these things. I think it's going to be real hard to get rid of these other two. But we have to try. Yeah, this is going to take a while. I think what we're going to do is turn this on. Then we're going to have to do this. Well, hopefully we don't pull in resources faster than we can empty them into those little boxes there. Anyway. So yeah, this is just sort of what we're up to for the next little bit here. Our science is still set to cap. I'm still going to go for faster. Then we're going to get the high-risk experimentation field. It's going to make us research even faster. And then computing optimization, which makes it so that we gain science faster, which is technically a good thing. Might not be as necessary now that we've got so much science, but you always want more science in this game. It is just constantly, 100% of the time, you want more science. Yeah, I think that we should be pretty much fine no matter what happens at this point in time. Realistically, nothing can get us down. I don't know why these are not emptying properly here. Because it should be. Let's see if something else is going on here.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Okay, now they're starting to empty. Well, whatever. Kruk P38. I don't think we got a science ship here yet. Okay, and I think we also can do this one. I'm gonna double check because I honestly don't remember very well. Okay. Yes, we can. And then there's another one we're supposed to pick. I think because we got the heavy armor, we can actually do it safely, too. Again, we're looking for primarily the carbon here. If I can get out of the sector and have full upgrades, like 100% upgrades on our power production, like that would actually be really powerful for us. That's sort of what we want to be doing this with. Because power, like, is something that just gets hard capped and is kind of like, you'll never be able to get more of it unless you get nuclear generators, but then you have to do the other stuff there. Okay, so the fastest science that we can get. I wish I could queue these, but I can't because they're all in one tech line, and I can't queue things that I can't research at the time I queue it, so it'd be nice if I could. Alright, I think we're running into the point where we've got enough food surplus stored up for a while, so that's good. We are still pumping people, and I think they're going to Sector 6. They're up to 657. I do want to get up to 800. At the very least, we do have to increase our housing capacity. I think we're just okay overall, though. Okay, how's everybody doing out here? I think they're doing pretty fine. Yeah, there's just lots of pods that we have to get that are a bit of a problem. I probably want to build another of these things, which I kind of want to and kind of don't want to, in all honesty.
A science ship team has completed a task.
One reason I really don't want to is it takes so many of those stupid things, like that resource, the chips. Okay, the Admoneki has been constructed from a range of extremely strong alloys, blah blah blah. Pipe's been laser cut. Temperature analysis of the cuts indicate they happened some time ago. Covered in bullet holes. Yeah, so we do want to do the one that requires us to have the like the armor, and I believe that's the reinforced tunnel. I am going to double check though, since I don't have an easy thing there. Got this weird music playing in the background, which I'm pretty sure is actually from the wiki giving me some like random crap. So I probably want to get rid of that. Let's see here. Proceed through reinforced tunnels. New event, Agent of Death. That's the one we want. So we should be able to do it since we have got the exoskeletons done. Let's close the wiki so that's got this weird music's gone away. Okay. Yeah, so we've been here for a very, very long time, and anyone who wants to do a speed run should not be paying attention to anything that I am doing, if I'm totally honest with you. Still at cap science, though.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Making that problem worse on account of just having more science production. That was this one. Okay. We can conduct further tests, but we cannot bring the mirror bacteria back with us. Yeah, so there's some... Basically, like, there's some bacteria there that sort of, like, structure stuff in a weird way, so... we can research it, we can't bring it with us. God, I am so not remembering all of these. I believe we can still investigate information. It's helpful because we did like research most of the techs for our science ships to make them survivable. But, you know, is what it is. I like how we've got sort of a 100% increase on our science research. It's still pretty slow. Still can't see how much science we have. Eventually we will, though, so... Ah, here we go. Okay. Then we'll get rid of these things later, but for now this is fine. I do want to put like a 4x4 in here eventually. Gonna be a while before we can clear out even those resources, though, because everything's full, so...
A science ship team has completed a task.
Okay, that was here.
Administrator, a new request awaits your attention.
Suit exoskeletons allow us to avoid fatalities. No Edomineki survivors. Lived with corpses of soldiers killed by cutting lasers. Small shelter. Broken drone ships like deep-sea creatures floating in the lack of gravity. They bear the BMS logo of the Black Market Society. This is the first time we have seen machines like these. We have transmitted schematics and data. So these are important because we're going to get attacked by a bunch of drones. And this is going to give us the tech that lets us sort of like deal with those. So we've now got this sort of quest here. So now we know about their like weapons and how to deal with a bunch of them. We do have to do the technology research for that, which does cost us some research, but like we've got plenty, and I'd rather first get all the stuff that makes us like stronger at doing other stuff there. I'm gonna grab that, and then I'm gonna grab the algae farm upgrade there. Possibly a good idea to get the alternative life center upgrade, but for now I think we're fine. Next is going to be deep group decryonics here, I think. So we'll hit that. Alright, got 2 of these. They're pumping people out into Sector 6. Once we start filling this in, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves slightly different stuff here. Still gonna be hard to get rid of all these optimized quarters, honestly. Might actually be better for me to build a probe launcher down here, because we will technically need those. So, possibly what we focus on getting instead, but I would really like to have another cargo thing just to speed things up a little bit. Admittedly, we have like no cargo space for like all of our junk because everything's full.
A science starship team has completed a task.
Alright, so we got this done. Metaphysical and psychological aberrations, so there's some problems here. I believe we're supposed to just leave the planet here. Gonna double check, because yet again... a bit nonsense. What planet is this? P41. I'm thinking that something weird is going on here. Okay, the wiki is giving me something that is incorrect. I think we're supposed to just continue exploration, it looks like. Normally it's usually you have to pick those ones, but yeah, no, it is continue exploration. That sounds crazy, but okay. I mean, sometimes it is just whichever one takes longer, so I guess that is what's happening here. I wonder if we'll never see, like, our science total ever again here. Okay. I think what we want to do is actually this next. Oops, I forgot we wanted to do... oh, well, we'll do it like this again. Anyway, I'm going to be here a while. We're going to try and spend, like, most of our science, even though that's impossible, probably. But, hopefully we're getting through our science faster than we are generating science. That's kind of probably important, maybe, I guess. But, yeah. There's a bunch of, like, stuff to make it so that we store more stuff as well that's going to be important for me to get. But, as per usual, like, we just have a lot of resources. So, anyway, I will be back in like an hour after we've slowly managed to get through all of this crap that we're doing. So in the meantime, I'll be right back. Oh, we got this done here. Oh yeah, this is the one. Leave there. Just don't bring that with us. But yeah, I'll be back.